Hello.
Hey, Deborah, I can
Hello?
hear you.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
I
I'm
did.
trying to
I
find.
did
I'm
all.
finding you.
I did all that talking with my mute on, so the audience didn't hear anything. They could see my lips moving, but nothing was coming out. Yesterday I was a little under the weather, so I took an antihistamine. And antihistamines just have a tendency to put you a little bit out of sync with your body. Like the mind's going fine, and then the body just does dumb stuff like forgetting to take the mute off. So now we're back. So are you in Sedona as well?
I'm in Sedona, yeah, and we're looking for you on YouTube right now. I got the whole gang here.
Oh, right.
Ready to cheer you on.
Yeah, well, all of us are there now. You can see me on the left, and you in the middle, and Suzanne on the right, and my logo over the top. So we're all there now, all live on YouTube.
Well, I don't see it. 7 watching, 7. Let's see. Oh, AK. I think I got you. X Squared Radio?
Yes. What I have to do, because we haven't changed out our bumper music yet, YouTube does not allow us to use our long-time bumper music because they say it's a copyright infringement, even though I have the rights to the music. So we had to go to all royalty-free music, and people in the studio have the same thing that I had yesterday, only they got it worse. So they haven't got around to changing out the bumper music. So I have to.
We got you! Woo-woo! All right, we're all watching here. We're fun.
All right. So the thing about music, a lot of people pass over this. You know, they get an artist on, they want to talk about where they performed, or do you know Carlos Santana, or they want to know all those questions. But the thing about music is, I feel like information is poured out over the entire earth all the time, all kinds of different frequencies, all kinds of different information, and everybody gets it. Everybody receives this information. Now, some people, they're just not conscious that they're conscious. That information goes through them and out the other side, and they don't feel they can sing, and they can't play an instrument. They don't paint. They don't write. So they don't express these spiritual things that come through them all the time. Some people do. Some of us are engineers like myself. We build stuff. We invent stuff. We make all kinds of energy breakthroughs. Others are artists, painters, musicians, mathematicians. I call mathematicians artists because it's really the art of numbers. But it all comes through this inspiration. And it always fascinates me when someone makes a career of music, because it's, well, for one thing, very difficult. Very difficult. I'm going to say like impossible's right here, and like very difficult's right here, and musicians right there to make a living. A lot of people play music, but they play bars or they play birthday parties, but they don't get to be successful like you have been. How did you take this spiritual connection, which you've had since you were 15 years old, full on, and turn it into a career?
Wow, that's a big one. Well, like I said, I played in rock bands for 27 years, and then I went solo. And I'm going to tell you the magical stories. I hope you don't mind.
No, that's what I want to hear.
Great, because I was in my last couple of rock bands I was in. They were constantly fighting. There was one with two brothers always fighting, and then this side was an all-female band at the same time, and they were always fighting. And it wasn't becoming fun anymore. So I prayed to Great Spirit, and I prayed to God. I said, this is not fun anymore. And the message came through so strongly that it also almost knocked me off my chair. It said, "Go solo now." And I said, "What? How does a drummer go solo?" First of all, I was like, I write songs. I was mostly in all original bands, actually 99.9% original bands, and so I did help write a lot of the songs, or help with the songs writing, of course. And I said, "But I'm a drummer. How does that? The only drummer I know that ever went solo was Phil Collins.
Phil Collins,
so
Don Henley,
I said, okay.
Rare Earth. Rare Earth had a drummer who was a lead singer.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't sing. Well, not that I can't sing, but I didn't think I'm a very good singer. I've always worked with singers that have like 5-octave ranges, so I think, oh God, I can't sing. But I do chanting and spoken word, and I can actually orchestrate music. I didn't realize I could do all that till I bought a keyboard. And then when I bought the keyboard, that's when I went solo and bought a recording studio, and it's been solo ever since.
Awesome. Well, that's, I know a lot of people that played in rock bands. I played in a few rock bands myself, but I was more talented as the light and sound engineer than I was a guitar player.
You get paid more.
Yeah, exactly.
You're very funny, Brooks.
I counted out the money. I was the only one that didn't get. I was the only one that didn't get stoned during the concert, so because I had to remember how to turn all the knobs and dials and not electrocute everybody. And it takes a lot.
No, you never got stoned.
You get the truck there. You have to unload all those wires and hook up the amps and get the lights working and get the light board programmed and all that. I like doing that, but I also like singing. But in those days, you didn't really have, other than maybe Steve Parrott, people that didn't play a musical instrument that sang. I mean, even Robert Plant played the tambourine now and then. And I always could sing, and I still sing. I sing every week. I go out and sing karaoke. I really enjoy it. I think I'm good at it. They never throw me out, and they let me sing as many times as I want to, if I can get my name on the board. Sometimes there's 300 people in there, and you get to sing once in a night. That's it. But it's a spiritual experience for me. I like being involved in music. I play the guitar, play the piano meagerly to myself, but I do it. It kind of releases a meditative state in me. It's like when I'm painting. I'm not a great artist,
right,
but I enjoy painting because it releases something in me. And all my kids like doing it. They pick that up.
That's wonderful.
So you were drawn to Sedona. You weren't raised there, right?
No, I was going to, like I kind of said before, I was always going to a sacred site and coming home and, writing music from that sacred site. And I was living in Florida at the time, and my friends go, "Well, when are you going to Sedona, Arizona?" And I said, "What? I never even heard of it." They said, "Wait a minute, that is totally your energy." So they literally dragged me out here.
That's crazy.
And I'm very psychic. I'm very in tune, spiritually. And when I saw Sedona, I instantly recognized it when I got here. And they all wanted to know what I saw. And I said, "Oh my God, Sedona, yes." I said, this is the ancient city of golden light. Exactly what I saw. And 6 months later, I left those two rock bands that were arguing and moved to Sedona.
One wasn't Heart, was it?
No, actually, it was like, couldn't wait.
By the way,
couldn't wait to get here.
Speaking of Heart, Suzanne, do you have to go?
Thank you, sweet dear. Yes, I probably should if I want my family to still love me.
we don't care
but I love
them.
you guys, and it sounds like you're off to a really great start, and I'm sure that you're going to have a fascinating conversation. And Deborah, you just got to tell them about your amazing book, Look Up, and how that all came into being, right? And I already told them about your DVD, Egypt and Sedona. So you got lots of really great things to chat about. I'll definitely listen to the archive link.
All right.
Thank you. Well, we have to, people who have never been to Sedona definitely should come, especially during the equinox. It's the most powerful time, the 19th and 20th of March, and Suzanne has put together a credible lineup of people just to activate and bring you into higher frequencies. Just within a couple of days, you're going to be floating, and in a whole different realm. So it's beautiful, beautiful wake-up healing activations.
Well, that's why we're here. That's why we are here tonight. So, Suzanne, go enjoy your family. We'll see you next week. And Deborah and I will be fine.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sweetie. Bye.
Bye. She's so cute.
All right. So the main topics could go anywhere here, but I'm one of those people that have never been to Sedona. I've wanted to go for about 15 years, but I didn't actually just book a ticket to go see Sedona just to see it. I always wanted to speak there. I always wanted to present there. And I have been asked 3 times, but all 3 times the events fell through for lack of funding. So they never bought the plane ticket or got me out there. So, and that happens all the time, but not 3 times in one city. So there's a real big reason why I need to go to Sedona, because it's been a long time coming, and I think it's going to be a big release of energy, which is why we're doing these several weeks of introductions for the talent that Suzanne has lined up for this Beyond the Matrix event here on X Squared Radio. We don't normally have guests on this program. I did for years. I've been on for 15 years. I guess for 10 years, I had a guest almost every week. But then the mail gets pretty deep after a while, and they go, look, we can hear these people on other people's radio stations, but we never get to hear you. So for the last 5 years, it's just been 3 hours of me every Sunday night. And that's how I've grown the audience. So I decided to shift gears the last 6 weeks and have each week a guest or 2 on that's going to be at the Beyond the Matrix Expo to try to, of course, raise awareness and get people to sign up, but also to create an archive of these interviews on X Squared Radio, not only the audio, but also the YouTube. So thousands and thousands of people can listen to these because they're important. It's important to get this message out. We may have 100 or 200 people in Sedona, but we'll reach 20,000 with what we're going to talk about tonight. So this is why it's important to me. When you arrived in Sedona and you got the next level of inspiration for your music and decided to interpret Sedona in your music, where did it lead you when you first got there? What was the first a feeling that you felt you had to get out?
Well, basically was hiking every day. The Red Rocks are just breathtaking, and I was hiking 2-3 times a week for hours at a time with me and my dog. It was just me and my dog. And one day, I think it was just the second week I was here, it's an area called Boynton Canyon I wanted to go to. It was very, every place here is magical. and it's just like I said, breathtaking. So I'm driving out there, and I said, "Oh, gotta go to Boynton Canyon." And I get to the stop sign, and right before the stop sign, a flash went over my car and transported me into Long Canyon, which is at the stop sign. You go right to Long Canyon, left to Boynton Canyon. And I went, and after the flash, I said, "Oh my God, how did I get here?" All I remember was this white flash. Swear to God, this happened. And I said, "Well, this is not the way I want to go." So I turn the car around, and then Spirit comes in and goes, "Go this way." And I went, "Okay, I'm listening." So they literally only drove like about a half a mile, and that was it, and parked. They told me to park at the end of this parking lot where you can only see this one rock formation, and it's a sphinx, an actual sphinx. I have pictures of it that blows people away. And you can't, if you go a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, you can't see it. They literally brought me right there. And I've been to Egypt, many times. I've had a major connection with Egypt. I've studied now Egypt, the ancient scriptures for 25, 30 years now. And I see Egypt everywhere in Sedona. I found it. I've put it together, a tour now. We're just talking very recently. Really finally put it all together after a couple of weeks, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, the tour is called Egypt in Sedona, and I've actually have pictures of their ancient ruins. They found Egypt in Phoenix. They found hieroglyphs in Phoenix. They call it Little Egypt, which I'm finding out more and more now. They found hieroglyphs in Utah, Lake Powell. They have found, they talk about the ancient relics they have found in the Grand Canyon. On the North Rim, they have the pyramid temple structures of the rocks. They call Temple of Osiris, Temple of Isis, Temple of Ra. They have all the Egyptian names in the Northern Grand Canyon. There's something going on here. I have found it here in Sedona.
Well, the interesting thing about all of this, we wrote somewhat about this in our books, The Arc of Millions of Years. There are a couple of theories. One is that there was a common origin somewhere on the earth, like let's just call it Egypt or whoever became the Egyptians, and that they explored the world and they found various places. They had settlements here and there, and they left,
Yes.
Colonies around the planet. And then one by one, yes, or maybe all at once, all those colonies disappeared, and what was left behind is what they left behind. Now, the times that I've been to Egypt, my feeling is that Giza is really Egypt. Those three pyramids and the Sphinx, that's really the original start of it all. That it wasn't the culmination of, dynasties of engineering. No. That was the first. And then all the others are cheap copies of the originals. Well,
here's the... Oh, go ahead. Well, I have the ancient scriptures. I just wanted to mention that Osiris did say in the ancient Egyptian scriptures that he taught the people of Egypt how to be civil because they were fighting each other. And then they taught them how to build their own homes and grow their own crops. And once they were settled in, he traveled the world to teach his knowledge. And Osiris, I wish I sent you pictures. You would have put them up. You would have gone, "Oh my God, look at that!" The rock formations here. And when you're coming out, I would love to take you on tour. And it's open to everybody that wants to come to Sedona. Come. It's fun.
Well, when you're talking Osiris, you're going back to the Osirian, which is underneath, literally in the ground underneath Abydos.
Yeah. It's very, very ancient.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned the pyramids, and you feel that is the more Egyptian, they say, and the Thoth Emerald Tablet says that was really pretty much before the Egyptians. They built the
Yes.
pyramids, and then the Egyptians came in after that kind
Yeah,
of thing. It
that's what
actually
I'm
says that in
thinking.
the
That
Emerald Tablets.
long before Egyptus walked into the Nile River Valley, those pyramids were already
Right.
there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
So if Osiris and his entourage, his people, were the ones that traveled the world and left these colonies, it appears as though, I mean, we're looking at the same kind of hieroglyphs, the same kind of language, the same kind of mathematics, the same kind of building and village arrangement, even if they had to use, local materials instead of going and cutting stone out, which oftentimes they didn't do. They didn't have that in Teotihuacan, for instance. They used mortar and lava pebbles, but they didn't have stone to cut out. The same kind of structure, the same kind of arrangement, the same kind of star alignments were repeated over and over again from Canada all the way to the Yucatan. So,
yep, Osiris, mm-hmm.
Right.
Orion, that is. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Orion. Yeah, and I think Robert Balval, who's a fellow engineer, we've had several discussions about this. He says that the Giza pyramids are lined up within like 1 or 1.5 arc seconds of Sirius, the star. So
mm-hmm.
what
does that mean?
Those pyramids have gone
exactly.
through.
I mean, it's lined up, yes, because Sirius is right below Orion.
Correct. But the thing is, we've gone through several precessions since then. A precession is, 3,600 years or 2,600 years. We've gone through several of them between the time the pyramids were built and now. So it tells us that Sirius and our sun are probably binary stars. They're orbiting around each other. And that's the only way that those pyramids could stay aligned for 11 or 12,000 years to the same star.
Ah, interesting.
So that means that, what it tells us as engineers, because we're blockheads when it comes to this kind of stuff, we try to figure out why. It means that whoever laid the place out, on paper anyway, had a design. They had a reason for putting these things the way that they were put. And so we've had a lot of consternation over the years over what that reason why is. Why do you think?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I swear you read my book, because in my lookup book I talk about that, where where do I begin here? In 1997, I'm going to Egypt. I'm planning, I found the tour to go on and the people to go with, and Spirit comes in and goes, "Bring your drum, play your drum in the king's chamber to activate the pyramids." So when the generators to activate the pyramids, which will activate the generators below the pyramids to keep the earth in alignment.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so she won't shift her axis drastically. They're saying they're anchors. That there's more than one reason. When I meditated in Egypt and asked, the reason for the pyramids, they said there's more than one reasons. For instance, now that was huge, because I went in and I played my drum in the Great Chamber. It was 1997, and they said it worked. That the Spirit said they came in and said thank you. It's been eons since they've been activated. Generators, and they showed me the picture in my third eye of them, and I have a diagram drawing of them in my book, Look Up. It's called Look Up, My Encounters with ETs and Angels, and I have that in there. But now I'm in the middle pyramid. About a week or so after that, I went into the middle pyramid, And that's a Stargate. It's a total Stargate. I was toning in there with this other girl, and we totally went into a whole other dimensional time shift. This Japanese group was in there. They're coming in visiting, and they were going like when you speed up a TV or video really fast. That's what they look like.
We got to take a quick break.
They came in, they tapped me on the shoulder, asked me if I could take a picture of me, and I said yes. And they were going like 99 miles an hour, like it's fast forward, you know.
All right, we got to take a quick break. You YouTubers, hang on.
What do you call it?